Good morning. Happy Monday, the 18th of September. I hope you had a nice weekend. Let's do the Astro weather for this week. There is a lot going on this week, a lot of very annoying transits this week, so strap in, okay? We wake up today with the moon in Libra, which again, looking for balance, looking for beauty, looking for pleasant relationship kind of vibes. So quite a nice one to wake up to. However, there are two quincunxes this morning with the moon, one with Uranus and one with Neptune. So that's kind of an annoying energy that's going to need compromise. The one with Uranus is kind of looking for, it's the balance in relationships fighting kind of the idea of looking for a revolution in how we see family and possessions. And, we are being asked to kind of make a compromise, but also to kind of see what we already have in abundance. Uranus is in Taurus, and Taurus is about, it is a lot about material possessions and external possessions. And, this quincunx it's kind of pushing up against that idea. And the way through it is, finding abundance in what you already have. And then the quincunx to Neptune, which was 7:47 a.m. this morning, is kind of about finding balance between, the dream and the reality, finding beauty in that dream and then being able to kind of bring it more forward because you can see the beauty in it. It is kind of an energy where we do need to risk falling into the addictive qualities of external validation as well, though, so just watch that. At 11:05, so just now, we've had the moon square Pluto. So just being really careful of running your mouth off. This is kind of like an energy that is going to bring up our fear of external judgment. And because of that, it causes like an emotionally kind of violent and aggressive and explosive energy. The feminine energy also, in any cases where it is feeling oppressed, will be where it explodes emotionally. So just be careful of that in relationships, in work dynamics as well, like work relationships as well. Not really the energy to be having a spicy conversation with your boss. There's also, there could be disagreements about joint finances, inheritances, taxes, those sorts of things. If you can put that off, I would highly advise. The moon is void now as well. So the moon going void with that square to Pluto is kind of causing that energy to kind of be prolonged a little bit and does kind of override the whole energy of today. So until 3 p.m., we are void moon. So trying not to start anything new, trying not to do anything that requires big decisions and knowing all of the details, because when the moon is void, everything is kind of a little bit hazy. And then the moon moves into Scorpio. Dark Shadowland Scorpio. Okay, so this is like the energy of being overwhelmed by the way that you perhaps were social on the weekend, right? Libra energy, be social. And Scorpio energy is kind of like pulls back from that. It likes to kind of be alone in its thoughts, and it's a little bit more broody and moody. So that's at 3 o'clock this afternoon. The moon is moving into Scorpio and won't be void anymore. And it will be kind of asking for like a rebirth kind of energy inside of us, and perhaps facing up to anything that came out of our mouths or came out of somebody else's mouth toward us this morning, like really kind of dealing with that. But Scorpio energy is quite comfortable in shadow feelings. So it is the moon that you can work through these ideals with. Just being careful that it's not from that place of thinking that your way is the best way. Scorpio energy can present that way. It is quite a possessive sort of energy, and that can come out in the way that we think other people should behave. We sort of get quite possessive with our own way of doing things, and that Scorpio energy really kind of looks at it from that perspective of my way is the right way. So just being aware of that, because it is an intense energy. It's quite passionate, it's quite sensual, it's quite impulsive. And so it can turn into like disputes and vindictiveness as well. So just being really careful of that. And trying to push into the other side of this moon moving to Scorpio, which is like severe changes kind of become easy to deal with. Like Scorpio energy is quite, it's transformative. It's death and rebirth. It is like the phoenix rising from the ashes. So when we are in a Scorpio moon energy, as broody and moody and as alone as we might want to be, it does give us the ability to sort of be more adaptive, which is really quite good today with all of that quincunx energy this morning to try and be adaptive. And we are kind of looking to experience something new. So there is a positive side to it. And then later tonight, so 7:15 tonight, the moon is trining Saturn. So this is actually really good business energy, and there's not a lot of that around this week. Really good business energy, especially if you're dealing with someone who you really respect and who potentially has an authority in your life. So any kind of career chats that you want to be having, tonight is a really good time for that, specifically with people that you already respect. And because we are in Saturn energy and the trine is like a really good aspect with this moon, our emotional state is kind of it's more settled and we can be more in our head. So emotional matters can be handled under this as well, because we have the wisdom to be able to see through that emotional state. That's what this kind of the moon trining Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces right now in retrograde and the moon is in Scorpio, and those energies together making a positive aspect. That's kind of what makes the financial and business deals a really good energy, because we aren't as emotional about making these big decisions, about making these commitments. We can kind of see through the emotion and we're able to settle into more of a head space. You know, we still are, being Scorpio, we are always deep in our feels, but we're comfortable in there to a point that we can use our head. So we won't be making any extravagant financial decisions because we're sort of a little bit more balanced, and we won't really be looking for like any unnecessary purchases. So meetings tonight with people you respect and authority, really great. Also, the other great news this week is that starting today until Thursday and I think a little bit into Friday morning, the nodes of destiny are direct. So when you're thinking of the nodes of destiny, we have a south node and we have a north node. And the south node brings with it, it's like karmic gifts, but also like karma as well, like from ancestors and, you know, down our genetic line as well. So spiritual ancestors, but also genetic line ancestors. So gifts that they have given us, gifts that when we take our first breath on this plane, we have those gifts with us. So that is the south node. And the north node is the representation of our soul-fulfilling purpose, our, you know, the destiny that we are inclined to, where we should follow career, family, what we are looking for in the future to fulfill our mental, our physical, our emotional, and our spiritual spaces inside of us. So when they are aligned, which doesn't happen that often, and when it does, it's not for a long period of time, but this week it's for 4 days. And when they are aligned, it gives us the ability to kind of see that straight line, to kind of see where we've come from and where we're going to see the gifts that we were given and how we can use them to move forward. And it is a really great energy to put out proposals, to put ideas out there, to approach people with new ideas, who you might want to collaborate with. And being that we are in Virgo season, moving fastly towards Libra season, there is going to be a collaboration energy. Mars is in Libra, so it is looking to take action in collaboration. So having the nodes direct this week is excellent for putting things out. Just be wary of when you're putting them out, because if you are putting them out in a void moon like today, don't do it until after 3. You know, you might miss some details, or it might, you know, the email might get lost, or you might be late to the meeting. So just be aware of that. But also things that you have been working on, really great time to put them out this week. Really great time to have conversations about what your future should look like. The energy with the nodes being direct is fantastic.